Okay, guys, so I have been able to wear business over pleasure. I've given it two full wearings, a after the shower wearing, which is kind of a full wearing because I stay up super late anyway. I've also tested it on skin, like, a couple times. So I've really given business over pleasure a pretty good like work over, so I can really gauge what I get from the scent, the type of performance I get, and I think I'm about ready to fully review this fragrance. Welcome to the Fragrance Wardrobe. Alright, before we begin, I do want to remind you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications so you get notified when I have new videos coming out. Now, full disclosure, I am friends with Ross Carlos over at Tltg Reviews. I talked to him. He's helped my channel out tons, even back when I was like under 100 subscribers. He is a friend of mine. I am also acquaintances with George Zaharoff. I talked to him on Facebook before, all of that good stuff. So, but even with those relationships, I will give you my full take on business over pleasure. I'm not going to inflate anything or anything like that. Okay, let's go and start with the presentation. The presentation comes in traditional Zaharoff box. Looks like this, kind of has like a cardboard like plate on there. You're going to have a playing card style design with George on one side, Ross on the other. I think the playing card design, it looks really cool. I think it's pretty creative. I do like the presentation quite a bit. I think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, that's a pretty neat design in my opinion. And the likeness, I mean, check that out. You have George, you have Ross, and the likeness on there is pretty good. With the bottle, you're going to get the normal like Zaharoff style bottles shaped like this. You have the Zaharoff logo at the top, you have Tltg's logo on the bottom, and on the back you have laser etched that design that is on the back or on the cover of the box. So pretty cool. These caps, they do twist and pull off like that. They are patented, so special patenting from George. Atomizer works pretty well. Decent atomizer. Scent is pretty good. Now, when I first spray this, this is what I get on my skin. I do get a little bit of pepper. It doesn't turn into like a super spicy fragrance for me at all. I do pick up some of the pepper though, just not turning this thing into a spicy fragrance. I do get iris. The iris is there. It's a Florentine iris, if I do recall. Now, I get iris from the opening to the very late dry down, and the iris does mix with that pepper, so you have a little bit of a peppery iris, but the iris for the most part is like smooth, creamy. It's kind of soft, and it smells really good. It's a very well done iris in my opinion. It doesn't smell like super synthetic or anything like that. It smells like it's high quality oils, which is what George uses, and I don't think he changed up the quality for these Z Creator fragrances. I think that he kept the bar just as high as he sets for himself and his fragrances. Now, on the dry down, once I get into that heart, I'm getting a smokiness added to the iris. So the iris smokes up a little bit, and that's coming from Gaiac wood. And once that occurs, that's basically what I'm getting from this fragrance. From the opening, I'm getting a little bit of pepper, that good dose of iris. That starts to dry down. That Gaiac wood comes up to give it a smoky nuance. Now, it's not a super smoky fragrance or anything like that. You just get a smoky nuance mixing in with that Florentine iris. The iris is creamy, add a little bit of smokiness. I think it adds a little bit of originality to this iris-based scent. For me, business over pleasure is an iris fragrance, and I think with that Gaiac wood adding that smokiness, it does give it a little bit more of an originality that isn't, in a lot of other fragrances. I have heard people though compare this to, I don't know, maybe a couple other fragrances that I don't have in my collection, so I can't speak to that. But for me, I think that the fragrance has a little bit level of originality for that iris genre type of fragrance. I think it's very mass appealing. Now, with that being said, I don't think this is a I think this is a very safe fragrance. I don't think that there were I don't think there was anything in this fragrance in which it's going to like just straight up turn people off. I think it's very safe to wear in pretty much any situation. Now, this one was basically created for that office professional business style encounters or situations or environments. I think that the performance adds to that. Now, when I think of office or business, I don't think of a fragrance that's going to project across the room. I think of one that's going to stay in your personal space because you're not trying to offend people or run anybody off. That's what this one does. The projection is not heavy at all. The projection is, I wouldn't say it's like an intimate projection according to like Fragrantica or whatever. I'd say it's pretty moderate. For the first hour to 2 hours, I get a pretty decent little projection where I'm catching wafts of it hitting me in the face. If I walked by somebody, it was mentioned, I was complimented that I smelled good, that it was a good fragrance. So it does have a little bit of a scent trail, a little bit of a sillage, but it's not going to be one of these beast projecting style fragrances. The longevity on it, I've heard a lot of different mixed things on here. I've heard some people say that this thing is like a 10-12 hour fragrance, and it isn't. And I've heard people say that it's like a 30-second fragrance or a 30-minute fragrance, and for me it's not. For me, on my skin, cannot speak to anybody else, but for me, on my skin, I'm getting about 6 hours of performance. Usually it's like 6 to about 6.5 hours. That's where I gauged it. Each time I worn it, I've timed it. I've checked my watch and keep checking myself, and I'm getting about 6 to 6.5 hours of performance, which is pretty standard. It's moderate. Nothing like crazy or anything like that. Not a crazy longevity type of fragrance, but it does perform, I think, better than a lot of people are trying to say that it does. Or it could just be a skin chemistry thing, and yeah, I get 6 hours where maybe somebody else is getting like 3 or 4 hours. I don't know. I can only speak to how it performs on myself. And for me, I'm getting 6 hours to 6.5 hours longevity, with the first hour to 2 hours the projection, going pretty well, leaving me a little bit of a scent trail, a little bit of a sillage, not a big, huge, solid bubble, anything like that. Someone's going to have to be close to me to smell it, and I think that makes a really good office safe type of scent. The price point on these are going to be $119. Do I think it's worth it? I do. I paid for this, by the way, in case you guys are wondering. I did say I'm friends with Ross. I talked to George, all of that, but I did not get this for free. This was not sent to me for free, anything like that. I bought it, I paid for it, and these are my feelings on the fragrance based on something that I actually purchased with my money. For $119, I'm pretty happy with what I got. The iris fragrance that I'm getting is something that I don't have in my collection already, and for me, the really thing that I'm drawn to the most with this fragrance is that Gaiac wood. Once that starts coming up and giving a little bit of a smoky nuance to the iris, that's what just does it for me. That's what I just really enjoy about this fragrance. So that's like the main thing for me. All in all, I like the fragrance. I enjoy it quite a bit. I think it's worth $119. If you don't get on it now while there's supplies and you try to buy it later, you're probably going to pay more because it is a limited run. So I'd get on it now, or at least get a sample or a decant, something like that. Give it a try for yourself. I do think that it comes across differently on skin in a full wearing than it does on paper. By the way, when I spray it, I do spray a little bit heavy. I spray probably about 8 or 9 sprays, so I'm getting that 6 hours longevity and all of that. When I wore it out of the shower, I think I sprayed it 4 or 5 times, and I got about 5-6 hours of longevity. at that point. So this was one that definitely spray your skin and spray your clothes to push that longevity out a little bit. But all in all, I do think it's a great fragrance. I think that it offers a nice little I do think it offers a nice different take on an iris fragrance that can be worn basically daily, any situation, especially the office. Extremely versatile. So yeah, guys, that's my take on Business Over Pleasure. The scent that was created by Tltg Reviews, Ross Tarlos, in collaboration with George Zaharoff, or I don't know, maybe collaboration, whatever. Those two guys, they put this thing out, and I think it smells really good. It's a great scent. I really enjoy it. And yeah, that's my take on it. Now, please do remember to give the video a like, comment, let me know if you tried it, let me know what type of performance you're getting, all of that type of stuff. What do you think of the scent? And don't forget, hit the red subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll catch you guys with the next video. Thank you for watching.